Everybody, how y'all doing out there? Y'all look wonderful. Well, welcome to our House Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Now it's official. I'd like to remind everyone it's being recorded. Virtual participation is permitted. If there are any technical issues, we'll place the meeting on hold until we can repair them. I'd ask all of you to mute your phones, if you would. And for those of you that are able, could we please stand and say our pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Paula, could you please take the attendance roll? Here. BBD. 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 BBD.
Here. Here.
Okay. All right, well, we obviously have more than the quorum. The first item on the agenda, I'd like to call up House Bill 2034, printer number 2591, introduced by Representative Sappi. Representative, good morning. Would you like to summarize your bill, please?
Yes, thank you so much. This is legislation that would update the Department of Agriculture's best practice management to include the mushroom and composting industries. And I have some remarks.
Okay. Is there anyone that would like to speak on? Representative Sappi?
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate this opportunity to talk about my legislation to update the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture best management practice. My goal here is to help the department gain more oversight and enforcement in indoor agriculture, and to nurture a better relationship between the mushroom and composting industries and Pennsylvanians living in close proximity to these operations. Outside of southern Chester County, few Pennsylvanians understand how mushrooms are grown, how mushroom compost is made, how beneficial both are, and that this is a $1 billion industry for our state. Over my years in office, I have held policy hearings and toured many of these operations in an effort to learn the industry and to help my colleagues also understand the importance of this industry. I believe I've been a good steward in this regard. However, over the last decade, southern Chester County businesses and residents have experienced significant challenges from the negative impacts of phorid flies, an insect which is exclusive to the mushroom and composting industries, and also of poor air quality. Phorid flies breed in the mycelium found in mushroom houses. Before 2012, diazinon was used to eradicate these flies. In 2012, the EPA banned the use of this substance, leaving few to no methods to eradicate phorids. Treating growing rooms after harvesting mushrooms with high temperature heat or steam is highly effective, and it's important to note that many operations adhere to this method. Steaming off requires equipment and workers, so smaller operations with fewer resources have sometimes skipped this step and unfortunately contributed to a marked increase in phorids. Roughly 10 years ago, phorids began leaving mushroom farms at the end of the growth cycle, seeking warmth and a place to reproduce before dying. Residential neighborhoods in proximity to mushroom farm operations began experiencing swarms of the phorid flies inside their homes, particularly in warmer weather. Former State Senator Andy Dinniman engaged Penn State University Department of Ag to study this phenomenon in order to seek a solution. Penn State researchers have experimented with numerous methods, including nematodes and treated screens, and have had some encouraging success. Several private sector corporations are also working hard on non-toxic methods using organic sprays and treated netting for windows and doors, much like malaria netting, a method that has received emergency use approval by the EPA for 1 year so far. Unfortunately, after several years of unimaginable numbers of flies tormenting residents in an ever-increasing number of municipalities, PDA responded by issuing a quarantine order for 2 of the most heavily impacted townships early in 2025. This quarantine is still currently in effect. It has required growers to steam off growing rooms, and if they could not afford to purchase or repair necessary equipment, grant funding was set aside for these operations. Random inspections have also taken place, but it's important to note the PDA is currently stretched very thin, deploying resources to avian influenza, which I'm sure we all agree is vitally important, so mushroom operation inspections have not been as rigorous as necessary. From the public's perspective, living with phorid flies is a nightmare. I have heard from hundreds of residents during my tenure depicting life with these flies. Phorids, very much like a drain fly, swarm homes by the thousands. They cover walls and ceilings. They fly into the faces of adults and children. They cover toothbrushes. They are in your food. One young mother crying to me over the phone recently explained what it's like to have these flies in her newborn infant's eyes and mouth. There is an economic impact from this crisis as well. Small hotel operations pay to put up guests in hotels away from the area because their hotels are infested. Restaurants have closed on days when the flies are so bad they cannot have customers. Residents worry about home values because of the media exposure on what it's like to live amidst all of this. There is also grave concern about air quality in southern Chester County resulting from hydrogen sulfide emitted by composting operations. In 2019, residents began reporting to me severe corrosion of metal lampposts, vehicles, windows and siding, and HVAC systems. Many reported that they had replaced their HVAC system 2 to 3 times in a 10-year period. In early 2020, I requested an air quality study to be done by DEP. Unfortunately, COVID hit soon after that request was approved, so data monitoring and compiling took several years. When the results of the study were presented to the PDA, or the Department of Health at the public meeting in 2024 in our area, data pointed to spikes of hydrogen sulfide during particular months and times of day. Residents with sensitivity, such as asthma, were told to monitor air quality on DEP's website and to stay indoors on days when H2S spiked. Not surprisingly, residents were not satisfied with this approach, which has led to 2 further studies being done, one by New Garden Township with Westchester University and one by the American Mushroom Institute. Results of these studies are expected in the very near future. To be fair, large amounts of private industry money and taxpayer money has been spent to study phorid flies and hydrogen sulfide levels in southern Chester County. The industry is aware of the problems. Most of the mushroom operations in Chester County follow best practice management. But like problems of this nature, there exist some bad actors that have fueled these issues and have been allowed to operate without repercussions. Our Commonwealth permits real estate development in close proximity to active agricultural zones. This juxtaposition has led to an untenable situation, and my legislation aims to address negative impacts stemming from the close proximity of development and mushroom operations. We have no alternative but to coexist. So again, the goal of my legislation is to support residents and the mushroom industry alike by providing PDA with the oversight and enforcement authority necessary to effectively negate these negative impacts. I'm sure the committee will have questions or concerns, and I'm happy to not only have a discussion on the technical aspects of the bill, but to work together to get this legislation right. It's not my intent to injure an industry, which I should point out has been warned for years that they could check themselves or have the government do so. Residents have often shared with me that they do not resent the industry, and they respect their right to do business and provide for their families and workers too. But they cannot be permitted to operate at the expense of their neighbors' quality of life or well-being both of which we have sworn an oath to protect. So again, I welcome your comments, and I hope you'll join me in helping PDA, taxpayers, and a major agricultural industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sappi. That was an excellent report. Anyone have questions, comments? Representative Lawrence?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the maker of the bill bringing this issue before the committee. It's a serious issue. It's one that merits attention. We do have a serious issue in Chester County with these with forage flies. It's a quality of life issue for many homeowners. I'm very grateful for the research efforts that have been quarterbacked mostly by Penn State. In my view, this issue does require additional attention and funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. The bill that's in front of us, House Bill 2034, in my mind, it's not a final product. I believe it needs to be amended. I'll certainly work with the maker of the bill on that effort, but I will be a yes vote on the bill today to advance it for further consideration. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Others? Chairman Mao.
I probably don't even need that. I think I will stand behind Representative Lawrence as well. I think that there is a few things that do need to be corrected, but you two can work that out since you're both from that area. And I'm going to encourage a yes vote as well to get it to the House floor to make those corrections. So thank you for bringing this forward. I do realize what a problem that is down there. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Mao. Any other questions? Are there any negative votes? All right, we have 2 negative votes. Paula, would you please take roll? Yes. VBD, yes. VBD, yes. VBD, yes. VBD, yes.
Yes.
VBD, yes. VBD, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
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 With the majority of voting in the affirmative, we're going to move House Bill 2034, reported from the Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee. Next on the agenda, House Bill 1768, Representative Burgos and Representative Fritz. I call up House Bill 1768, Representative Burgos. Is Representative Fritz here? Okay, see me there. Representative Burgos, would you like to speak on your bill?
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Pachinski and Mao, and to all members of the House Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee for considering House Bill 1768, legislation I'm proud to have introduced with Representative Fritz. As you heard during your hearing last month, this bill is about getting more Pennsylvania-grown and Pennsylvania produce food onto the trays of students across the Commonwealth. It's about giving our family farmers the opportunity to feed the next generation, and in the process, helping young people connect with where their food comes from. Too often, the meals served in our schools are made with ingredients that travel hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles. Under our proposal, students will have more opportunities to enjoy apples, corn, beef that is not from Argentina, dairy, and other products grown and raised by their neighbors right here in Pennsylvania. My colleagues, this is about helping our being about PA grown, PA first. This bill provides a direct economic impact to our farmers that are not having good times right now. So please let our actions today reflect the help that we want to give our farmers. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much for your comments. At this time, Chairman Mao, you're offering an amendment? All right. Chairman Mao offers Amendment A02152. Representative, would you like to speak on the amendment?
Yes, it's agreed to.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Amendment A02152, offered by Chairman Mao, is an agreed-to amendment. The amendment changes the title to the Keystone Fresh Farm to School Nutrition Act, updates program names within the bill, removes language, and edits definitions so that the bill mirrors definitions used by the United States Department of Agriculture in similar federal farm-to-school programs, as well as Department of Education. Adds language to ensure schools that need the fresh food the most receive it, and changes the requirements of the program's biannual report to both chairs of the House and Senate Ag and Education Committees once the programs are established.
Thank you very much, Nate. Is there any questions, comments on the amendment? Seeing no further discussion, are there any no votes on the amendment? Seeing none, the amendment passes. Now that we have House Bill 1768 amended, are there any comments on that piece of the bill? Representative Kincaid.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Burgos, for bringing this forward. This is, I think, really critical legislation as we are talking about food insecurity across Pennsylvania, across the nation increasing. One of the important pieces is also to make sure that people have access, and kids in particular have access to high quality, nutritious food. So a program that would help our schools to be able to provide Pennsylvania grown and produced food in schools, I think is a critical piece of ensuring that not only are we feeding kids in school, but that we are feeding them high quality, nutritious food. It's a piece that I think often gets lost where we are talking about ensuring that kids are eating, and some calories are better than no calories, but high quality, nutritious calories are the best kind of calories, and making sure that our kids are having access to those things, and that it's our farmers in Pennsylvania that are supporting them, I think is really important. So I'm very excited to support this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Kincaid. Representative Darty.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Burgos, I'd also like to commend you on your leadership with this initiative. As someone that represents 2 farms in our city and county of Philadelphia, along with Tarakan, we have Saul Farm, and then I have Fox Chase Farm. Just this weekend, I was at Fox Chase Farm for an event, and we talked about this initiative. And it's crucial, not only for the city and county of Philadelphia, but for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in ensuring this. And I just want to commend you on your leadership in getting this across this finish line. Thank you, Chairman Burgos.
Thank you very much, Representative. Representative Khan.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair Burgos, for bringing this bill up. I think one of the issues that we have is that our kids are not getting access to fresh foods in schools. Some do, some don't. I was at actually a school in my district that actually has, it's a good school. It's actually a private school. And I talked to the students after them changing the types of food that they got to actually food that was more fresh, food that they were actually able to choose. And they said that they felt better, that they were more focused during school. Felt like it was easier for them to learn. They felt less heavy. And one of the solutions that we have to getting kids access to fresh and good food is actually tapping into the food that we have that's grown right here in Pennsylvania. And we need more efforts that make sense, that connect our kids to local produce, getting fresh fruits and vegetables, and also dairy. And this bill is actually helping us get toward that goal. So I want to thank you for the leadership and thank you for the committee for moving this bill.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Parker.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Burgos. This is one thing that's very near and dear to my heart, representing a lot of elementary schools in my district. And we have been doing something creative with the giving out these types of food, fresh produce. And guess when? Parent-teacher night. So what we have been finding that this is really helpful. So when I'm reading this legislation to see that this is already happening in the schools and he's the brainchild, I'm very excited for this. So I'm absolutely surprised and I'm very happy that we're doing this and I'm very supportive. So congrats to you and let's get it done.
Thank you, Representative. Anyone else? In that case, on that question, are there any negative votes? Okay, then in that case, thank you, Chairman Mao. Paula? This is with the amendment. Yes,
This is the bill as amended.
as amended. 1768. Yes. VBD, yes. VBD, yes. VBD, yes. VBD, yes.
Yes.
VBD, yes. VBD, yes. VBD.
Yes. Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
House Bill 1768 as amended passes the committee. Next on the agenda, thank you, Representative. Next on the agenda, House Bill 1741, printer's number 2143, introduced by Representatives Mahalik and Representatives Benham. Representative Mahalik, would you like to speak on your bill?
I would. Thank you, Chair Pashinsky, Chair Mile, members of the Ag Committee. I want to thank you for considering House Bill 1741 this morning. The 33 bipartisan co-sponsors also thank you for considering this bill this morning. This bill is part of a larger package called Health EPA, and based on some of the comments on the prior legislation, I think the committee would really like to take a look at the rest of the bills in the package. But as far as this morning and 1741 is concerned, this is what I deem the cover crops bill. So we're looking at, exactly what the previous bill sponsor was looking to do, providing healthier food to our kids. We want to provide that healthier food to everyone, and we want that food to be coming from our Pennsylvania farms. So this is one way that we thought of, getting back to those regenerative and organic practices. So the overall package, it deals with food safety, and you really can't have an honest conversation about cleaning up our food supply without talking about what's going on our farms. So this bill provides an incentive for the farmers to plant those cover crops, which we know would lead to healthier soil. They improve water retention, improve nutrient microbiome, reduces the need for expensive input like fertilizers and pesticides and herbicides. And that's really the ultimate goal, is to move away from those expensive and often toxic practices. So this would go through the conservation districts, and it would prioritize cover crop programs in their respective districts. The legislation asks for 15% of the money received by the districts to be utilized for cover crop projects as defined in the bill. This would help the upfront costs for the implementation of cover crop projects, because we know from the farming community that it's a matter of time and money. A lot of them want to move toward these practices, but it's simply too cost prohibitive upfront. In the long run, they could actually save money and improve the quality of their crops. But to get them started and get them on a path to a more organic practice, we would ask for this legislation as a start to getting to those regenerative practices here for our farms in Pennsylvania. Healthier soil means healthier people, means less chronic disease, means healthier students in our classrooms. So
Thank
I
you
would
very much,
appreciate it.
Representative
Thank you.
Mahalik, for all your good work on that. I just want to remind everyone, we only have 5 minutes to make sure we get through this so that this meeting becomes official. Any questions? Seeing none. Any negative? There is a question. They got to be short, buddy. No.
Paula,
Okay,
can you
don't
take
have
the
any
roll?
comments?
Thank
All
you.
right. Yes. Yes, VVD. VVD, yes. VVD, yes. VVD, yes. VVD, yes. VVD, yes. You didn't mention Rep. Green. VVD, yes.
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 With the majority in the affirmative, House Bill 1741 will be reported out of the Ag and Rural Affairs Committee. Last one is House Resolution 327. Sorry, Destiny, would you please offer a description?
House Resolution 327 directs the Joint State Government Commission to conduct a study and make recommendations regarding ways to improve state infrastructure for reducing food waste.
Sounds like a good idea. Are there any negatives? Seeing none, House Resolution 327 also passes in the affirmative. You guys are unbelievable. Great job today. You got it all done. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. At this time, we will end the meeting.